This is part 2 of my talk on the power of thought, the new language for human resource professions. In the last part, I have talked of the importance of language in influencing thought, and thought in turn leading to action. I have started off by talking about David McClelland's studies, where children were told stories when they were young, achievement-driven stories which consisted of achievement language, which led to subsequent economic development. I've also talked of the language we used in designing HR systems almost 50 years back in the book that subsequently was published in Pioneering Human Resource Development in Larsen and Toubro. The language used by Dr. Pareek and me in the principles of designing HR has lots of positive things. Also in Udai Pareek's subsequent writings on extension motivation, filled with sacrifice, helping each other, extending oneself, etc., as sources for developing a nation. In the articles on institution building and role efficacy, there are lots and lots of positive things. Now I would want to come back to HR profession and the kind of language they use. I'll just give you a couple of statements. Take a piece of paper and write your responses to that. Just write down the statement that I'm making and answer by saying why. For example, first one, National HRD Network does not need a new president. Right now, President Search Committee is searching for the president. Suppose somebody says NHRDN does not need a new president. Why do you think so? You can write your own kind of answers. Take your time. I'm not going to stop for continuity of the video. Number 2, HR is responsible for the current employment crisis. You are hearing number of organizations, particularly IT companies, are asking people to be out of the company. Either they didn't have the skills or whatever it is, so almost 12,000 jobs out in one company, another 5,000 in another company, many of these. So somebody makes a statement, HR is responsible for the current employment crisis. What do you have to say? Why do you think so? Think about it, write, and now I will go to the interpretation of it. You can stop the video until you complete your responses. If you are watching the video in a group, stop it for a while, pause it, and complete your answers, and later on come back to listen to the rest of the video. When somebody says NHRDN does not need a new president, your mind may go in a positive direction as well as in a negative direction. You may use positive language or a negative language. This is an indication of your thought. Now, for example, some positive thoughts. One thought is NHRDN has a strong culture. It can run without a president. It has established a strong culture, it can run without a president. This is a very positive thought. Second positive thought, NHRDN is so strong, anyone can be a president. It's a very mature organization, therefore anyone can be a president. A third positive thing, systems and processes are so well set, there is very little any new president can add. I think the systems, process and other things have taken over. These are all positive thoughts, which indicates that NHRDN has come of its age, is doing a wonderful job, and it is a mature organization, saturated, etc., etc. But your thoughts also can be on the negative side. Somebody can say, it is so bad, no president can revive it. So it's already gone. I mean, this is a negative thought. There are people who may be subscribing to that. And somebody may say, there is already a permanent president, somebody sitting in Delhi who is running the show, therefore there is no need for one. That person may mean anything. Some of the past presidents who are there in Delhi are influencing, or the secretariat is influencing, or Many other kind of assumptions can be made. These are negative thoughts. Or a third thought, it's not an institution that makes a difference in the world anyway. Why bother? Why spend your time? It is an insignificant institution and so on. So you see, friends, there can be positive thoughts on one side, there can be negative thoughts. Whatever thoughts, you can now examine what you have written, whatever thoughts that you have are more indicators of your state of mind. It's quite possible if you have positive thoughts, you may be thinking that way about more of the issues that you face in life. You are a positive human being. I don't want to conclude just by citing one example, because there may be a particular chemistry that it has created, but it is important to examine your thoughts. Once in a while, during the day, you should ask yourself, how is my mind reacting to instances that are taking place around me? Is it all the time thinking positively, or is it all the time thinking negatively? Because you may have got conditioned by your mind, and you may be using a positive language unknowingly, or maybe using a negative language. So it is important for us to capture the thought, because if you are using positive language and having positive thinking, the chances are high that you will make those positive things happen. If you are thinking negatively, again chances are high. There is a Pygmalion effect that is likely to work. I'll give another example. HR is responsible for current employment crisis. Companies are asking people to leave, there is an employee retrenchment, separations are increasing, etc. This is again a view that you can have. On the other hand, you can say many people are becoming self-employed, so I think employment crisis is a no employment crisis, etc. That's your positive thinking. But suppose somebody says HR is responsible for current employment crisis. Now, your responses can be, I don't agree. On the other hand, it is responsible for creating so many jobs. If people are asked to leave, this is because many more people were employed. A few of them are asked to leave. For every 5 lakhs of people employed, 1,000 people are asked to leave. Don't make a big issue, because remember, there are 4,90,000 who are still on the rolls and going on. This is credit to HR. Or it is because it has created so many skills all around. We have many more skilled people. We have surplus of skills, and therefore people are being asked. This is a positive thinking. Or you can have a negative thinking. HR has not done its job well in manpower planning. It's poor manpower planning. Or it may say HR has not impacted the CEOs. Whatever is your perception, I think it is your own state of mind. Your thoughts impact the way you behave. I'll give an example, another example. How do you deal with a poor performer? Take again a piece of paper, write. Suppose you have an employee in your organization or any organization who is not performing well. Many warnings have been given to him, but the person continues to be a poor performer. What will you do? How do you handle this poor performer? Pause this video for a few minutes, write your responses. And after a little while, come back to the video. Now you can use your responses may be very positive or negative. Negative in the sense, you can say, okay, if he is now a poor performer, shift him to another department where he can't do any harm. Or you may say, he is a very dangerous fellow, get rid of him. Or give a milder punishment to him, warn him. Or you may say the performance management system is bad, set right the performance appraisal system. He sets a wrong example, therefore better to get rid of him as soon as possible. Ask him to leave, penalize, put him on a special performance track, keep watching, give feedback, warn him of the consequences, reduce the salary, and all kinds of negative things you can think of. It's possible, maybe right, you may be right in doing this. That means you are thinking of in a fairly negative way. The language that you use is a lot more negative. It is not building, it is only postponing the problem. Suppose you say, on the other hand, the positives, dialogue with him, diagnose the issue, create new opportunities. Everyone is born talented. His talent may be not suitable in the current job. Encourage him, change assignment, rotate, find out capabilities, empower him, give him freedom, give him autonomy, set suitability, put somebody else to work with him, coach him, and so on. These are all the positives that you can have. So I think it is essentially the language that you use. In the past, I'm very happy to report, I think HR has changed, but in the past, if you look at maybe about a decade back or a decade and a half back, the language used for HR is terms like this. They are very powerful people, self-centered people, inhuman, irresponsible, they're good at downsizing, they're stooges of employers, they are punishing people, demotivating, maskabajis, employer champions, control freaks, they play politics, they bias the top, they are disciplinarians, rule oriented, not needed. Bad if you have these kinds of perceptions. But on the other hand, there are some very good perceptions of HR. New language for HR, if you are talking about, is very interesting language. Life-saving, particularly post-pandemic, life-saving, enabling, empowering, human, discovering talent, self-renewing, fulfillment, spiritual, motivating, helpful, creative, honest, integrity, character, value-driven, considerate, promising, heavenly, happy, strategic, and so on. These are just examples. This is the language I think HR should be promoting itself. Now that you should ask, how do I promote this kind of a language? For the fun of it, I have put a post in LinkedIn asking people to mention, when I mention about human resource function, what are some of the things that come to your mind? Now, I'm very happy to report that there are many positives that have been reported in the LinkedIn post, and this happened in the month of August. The terms that I use for HR are cost center that manages humans. Interesting. Cost center but manages humans. Employee champion. Transformed from administrative support to strategic integrator. This person thinks transformed from administrative support to strategic integrator. Aligns human sight with intelligent systems. So during AI days, they're more human. Policies, payroll and paperwork. This is a negative thing. Slightly, but not so negative, maybe it is required. Reactive, ensuring compliance, gatekeepers, negative. Implementers, execution, anticipate workforce trends, contribute to business continuity. They design experiences that foster agility and belonging. Their decisions are grounded in empathy, ethics, and content. They are paid low but backbone of the company culture. They are driving growth. They are driving engagement. They are driving meaningful experiences, meaningful exchange. They work continuously without applause. They are trust architects. Interesting term, trust architects, culture curators, organizational futurists. They ask right questions that algorithms can't. Executive assistant to business with high accountability. They help people to link life and work. They uphold values and culture. What a wonderful, I think, statements that have been given. I think this is exactly what I tried to do in my Effective People book. When I gave 70 stories of people who are effective and drew a few lessons, I focused on discovering your inner talent, stretch your talent, be value driven, be compassionate, live with purpose, reach out to many, build institutions, be an integrating personality. These are some of the language that I tried to promote through the book, Effective People, or also in the book which Arvind and I wrote on Leaders in the Making, or in the earlier book on Managers Who Make a Difference. I think it is very important to use positive language, impact people with positive thought so that we can have a wonderful organization and a great country to live. I hope you enjoyed this. May I wish you all the best. Be a creator of your own positive language and thought which lead to great actions. All the best from TVRless.